December is the month of recaps, where we can take a look at the year in review and wonder what our most popular media was. Music listeners get Spotify Wrapped, and people who watch YouTube, which is you and me, get YouTube Recap. Those who play games like myself, and really I'm assuming you since you clicked on this video, also get a recap, but this also depends on what system you play on. Now I will say I am filming this video before the Nintendo Recap, but I have also already received my PlayStation Wrap-Up. And with getting the wrap-up, that really made me wonder, what is my most played games of 2025? Let's start with possibly my most played game of 2025. Stardew Valley is considered a cozy farming RPG, where the main character inherits a farm after their grandfather's unfortunate death. The main character finds him, or herself, running away from city life, spending their day farming, fishing, mining, and talking to the people of Stardew, to really try and rebuild the city as a whole. Since this game is considered a cozy farming sim, farming is what new players usually start with. Your farm starts as an absolute hunk of garbage when you get there, from years of neglect from your grandfather not being able to take care of the environment. The player is tasked with clearing out trees, rocks, and tall grass as soon as they get there. And as soon as that's done, only then can you start planting seasonal crops like parsnips or cranberries and pumpkins. Once you start to progress through the game and you're earning a little bit of cash for your crops, your farm can then start holding barns for cows and goats, and coops for chickens and ducks. Each animal has its own respective produce, and that produce can be processed. We can turn milks into cheeses, and we can turn eggs into mayonnaise. We can even turn our own crops into wines and jellies with the kegs and the preservers. Within this cozy farming sim is a cave diving and mining sim. You are given access to 120 levels of the base mine, each increasing in difficulty as you descend. Here in the mines you'll find resources like copper, iron, and gold. This, however, is not the only thing in the mines. You will have to fight skeletons and slimes if you want to explore and claim these resources. Each floor is randomly generated. This means the resources you get day 1, floor 1, are not going to be the same resources that you get day 2, floor 1. Every 5 levels is a guaranteed elevator, and this is a way to help save your progress in the mines. After these 120 levels of the mine, you get access to the Skull Cavern from a key that you find in a chest. The Skull Cavern is in the desert for all your mining needs. The floors are basically endless. Also, if you need any more mining than that, you are able to go to the quarry, which is unlocked through a bundle in the community center. And for whatever reason, if those 3 options are not enough mining for you, you're able to unlock a completely new island altogether called Ginger Island. And there you get another opportunity to mine as well. I believe that area is a little more difficult, but I haven't been there yet. Within this farming sim is a cave diving and mining sim. And within the cave diving and mining sim is a relationship and life sim. Stardew Valley has over 30 unique NPCs, each with their own schedules and backstories, even if that's considered staring at a microwave for 5 hours and not doing your job. By giving these NPCs their preferred gifts, you start to build relationships with them. You are also able to marry one of 12 eligible NPCs. One of the main goals in Stardew Valley is to rebuild the community center. This once dilapidated building can be turned into a social hub for interaction and building relationships. You can fix the community center by completing bundles of specific items that allow you to boost improvements to the town, like building a bridge to the quarry or getting a greenhouse in your farm where seasonal crops can grow all year round. Within this farming sim is a cave diving and mining sim. Within the cave diving and mining sim is a relationship and life sim. And if that wasn't good enough, in all of those combined is a fishing sim. Fishing is a good way to make money early in Stardew Valley when you don't have a lot of crops to carry the weight of your financial struggles. You will also need to catch specific types of fish to complete the aquarium bundles in the community center. One thing I absolutely love about this game is how open-ended it is. Stardew Valley doesn't necessarily have a true ending. After 3 years, your grandfather does give you a review, but you're able to continue farming, planting, and designing your farm as long as you want. Also, this game supports co-op, so I was able to play with my girlfriend. Now, at this point in time, I could probably talk about Stardew Valley forever, but I feel like I'm just blabbering at this point in time. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other games on this list that I spent quite a bit of hours on. Balatro is a poker-themed deck-building roguelike, where your goal is to come up with crazy combinations with your classic poker hand. But this time there's a little bit of a twist, with special cards called jokers, that can pretty much determine your run. This game mixes your classic rules and gameplay of poker, with different strategic twists making no two runs the same. Just like poker at a casino, this game can be super addicting. The good thing about this game though is, it doesn't cost you any money. The base price is about $15 I want to say, but there is no in-game purchases, so you can get as addicted as you want, and you won't lose any money. The game starts with your classic deck of 52 cards, and each round you're tasked with beating a blind. And to beat these blinds, you need to score points from your classic poker hand. However, you only have a limited number of turns you can take, and with that, you only have a limited number of cards you can discard. Jokers are this game's twist. After every blind, you are awarded with a shop, and in that shop, you have a chance to buy a joker. Now, these jokers can turn the tables when the blinds get a little too large. Some of these cards even add points to your mult, or sometimes even multiply your mult to add a ton of points to your final score. Since this game is a roguelike, death or defeat is not the end. With this newfound knowledge you had from the last round, you are able to strategize of how best to go about placing your jokers to get the highest score as possible. This game is probably one of the more addictive games I've played this year, considering my 55 hours spent. And you're probably thinking, that's rookie numbers, right? I've spent so many more hours on Balatro. True. I also have a lot of hours on my phone, however, and I don't exactly know how to calculate the hours spent on there, but if I had to guess, I'd probably push around 100 hours. Balatro has a lot to discover, including over 150 jokers, unlocked in various different ways. There are also multiple decks that challenge the way you play. One gives you more money to spend at the beginning, but limits the interest you earn over time to 0. One deck gives you one more discard, but one less turn. There are also different boss blinds with each ante that challenge the way you play. For example, one boss fight is you can't use hearts, or the other one limits your favorite poker hand. You like 2 of a pair? You're not allowed to use that anymore. The money you get after each round can be spent at the shop. Now this is where you're able to buy your joker cards that I mentioned earlier, but that's not necessarily the only thing you can buy here. You're also able to buy planet cards, which level up your poker hand, whether it be the 2 pair, the flush, or the straight. Tarot cards are a type of consumable card that are in the item shop that can pretty much change your entire deck. These things have a wide range of possibilities, including turning all your hearts into spades, or double your money, and sometimes even upgrade the value of your card. If you have a 9 of hearts, you could upgrade it to a 10 of hearts. Spectral cards are probably the rarest cards you'll find in the shop. These have the ability to add +1 joker to your maximum joker slot. These spectral cards have an instant chance to get you a random rare joker, or they could also duplicate a card from in your deck. There are multiple ways that the shop can directly affect the outcome of your run. We talked about the joker cards, we talked about the tarot cards, there's planet cards, and lastly the spectral cards. This game has won multiple awards in the Game Awards, including Best Indie Game, Best Independent Game, and Best Mobile Game, just last year in 2024. Balatro is a very addictive deck-building roguelike that could technically be compared to Slay the Spire. And if you play either one of these games, specifically Balatro like I mentioned previously, if you have any free time, you will no longer have any free time. Let's now move on to a colorful, action-packed platformer that I would compare to the 3D Mario games. Astro Bot is an action-packed platforming game where you play as this cute little guy called Astro. Now at the start of the game, Astro is booted off of his ship, or the PS5 if you will, and his crew along with it. Now in this game you are to collect all the pieces from the PS5 as they are scattered throughout the galaxy, as well as picking up some pretty unique PlayStation characters. In this game you travel over multiple galaxies, and in those galaxies are over 50 planets. Now on these planets you're able to collect gold coins, puzzle pieces, galaxies, and even some of Astro Bot's crew members. These can be PlayStation crew members like I mentioned earlier, or some people not even associated with any of the franchises. Each planet has its own unique environment. Some have beaches and sandy shores, while others have dense jungles and rainforests. The goal for these galaxies is to rebuild the mothership, or in this case the PS5. With each completed galaxy, it earns you a piece back from the PS5 that you lost when you got booted off your ship. These pieces include the SSD, the RAM, the GPU, and other components. Once you receive these parts back, they are then sent back to your island of operation, where they sing a pretty catchy tune. These parts, however, will not be given willingly. Each galaxy has its own respective boss battle that you'll have to defeat if you want these parts for your mothership. Some planets offer Astro Bot with temporary power-ups as well, that help take him to the finish line. In the jungle biome, Astro receives a type of punch power-up that allows him to shoot bombs back at enemies. There is a lot to do and see in Astro Bot, with over 50 worlds that you're able to explore, as well as different power-ups that you're able to get while playing throughout the game. And if you don't believe me that this is an excellent game, Astro Bot won Game of the Year and Best Family Game in 2024. Astro Bot's art style really sells the game, with its stunning visuals, gameplay, and exploration. This part of the review is a little shorter than the others, and that's mainly because I haven't finished Astro Bot yet. However, the time I have spent in this game I have absolutely loved. I believe at the time of this recording I have about 16 hours. If you love the 3D Mario games, you might as well try and check out Astro Bot, because this is a phenomenal game. At this point of the video, I've kind of teased what game I'm talking about and then showed you a title card. However, at this point in time, I don't have a physical copy of this game because I don't think there is one. So at this point in time, let's go ahead and jump into the next game. Dispatch was my surprise game of this year. I had no idea what this was until I started seeing clips of it on Instagram. I decided to do some research and found out it was only $30. Like my Silksong review, which is the only other video on this channel. $30 for a game is pretty good. Silksong was $20, Dispatch is $30. There's not a whole lot of difference there. I decided to give this $30 game a shot, and I was pleasantly surprised when I figured out that this is pretty much a combination of two of my more favorite games I've ever played. Dispatch is a game that I would expect Quantic Dream and Telltale to come together and make. Quantic Dream is responsible for Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls, where the Telltale games are responsible for the Batman Telltale, or more known, the Walking Dead series. In this game, you play as Robert Robertson III, or better known as Mecha Man. After an unfortunate explosion of his suit, the SDN gives you a job, or more so known as the Superhero Dispatch Network. When's break? Dispatch is a choice-driven masterpiece. It kind of plays like the games I mentioned earlier, the Telltale games like Batman and The Walking Dead. They each play in episodes. While working your new job here at the SDN, you're given a team of former supervillains who are trying to turn a leaf for good and really leave behind their past ways. While managing them, you're going to be given emergencies, and you have to decide who's the best former villain for that job. For example, charismatic characters might be the best solution for high-speech emergencies, and in that case you would send Sonar, who is arguably the best character in the game. And if you cut Sonar, we can't be friends. During these emergencies, you are also prompted with dialogue options that directly affect your relationship with these characters, as well as you will be dealing with hacking minigames. Oh, also, you're in charge of the hacking. Also, outside of these missions, you engage in conversation with management and the team, and this directly affects your relationship with the team and how willing they are to listen to you. Oh, it also kind of directly affects how the team feels about Robert. So if you make the wrong decision, well, just don't do that. Once you make a tough decision, kind of like in real life, you can't take it back. Would you want to, I don't know, go on a date with me or something like that? Oh, you're like a brother to me. Don't! I'm actually not sure if you can restart the episode. I'm sure you probably could. I haven't tried to do that, but that just made me want to make the right decision pretty much every time. That's also why there's multiple save slots. So you can make decision 1 here, decision 2 here, decision 3 here, decision 4. You could have 4 different playthroughs by just different decisions that you make. Like some of the other games on this list that I've mentioned previously in this video, no 2 playthroughs will be the same. Except if you pick the exact same choice every single time, but I don't know why you would do that, because that's why there's 4 saves. Please play the game differently. You could fail an emergency call. You could fail a hacking sequence. You could go on different dates depending on which HR violation you want to violate most. Dispatch has a healthy mix of stress and comedy. Kind of like the real workplace. Stress coming from knowing that every decision matters. Every emergency call you could fail. Every conversation you could fail as well. How can you fail at conversations, you might ask? Alrighty, so just these 2 games for you today?
I mean, yeah, that should do it.
Alright, perfect. Enjoy your games.
All right, you too.
This comedy is coming from the characters and how they develop, as well as the conversation choices that you are able to make. This game does a really good job to make you feel like you're in the shoes of Robert Robertson III, and to know that every decision that you make matters. This game blends strategy, storytelling, choices, and relationships, all in one superhero gifted package. It also kind of reminded me of Invincible, if you're into that, I guess. Well, there you have it. I guess that answers my question of what my most played games of 2025 was. Thank you all so much for sticking around to the end of the video. I wanted to say thank you for watching it, and I appreciate you guys being here on the journey of me trying to edit. I wanted to have this done by December, but considering it's just me editing these videos, filming these videos, I'm not putting too much stress on it. So let me know what you think of the video in the comments. If you haven't seen my first video, go back to my channel, watch the video. I think it was okay at the time. Looking back, meh, it's not the best, but let me know if I improved. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys next time.